Hey there, welcome to the Daily C, your daily dose of Coach C, vitamin C, inspiration, perspiration, motivation, and some coaching. And today I want to talk about the February blues. So we're about to head into February, and most people who live, and this is really for those of you who live in countries like Canada where we have a lack of daylight for about, it feels like 12 weeks. Where we don't have a lot of sunshine, and we get up to go to work in the morning and it's dark, and we come home from work and it's dark, and there's a lot of gray skies, and that wreaks havoc on all of us. So for those of you who live in countries, I know a lot of Europeans, same thing. You're up in the morning and it's dark when you go to work and it's dark when you come home, and that can really impact people. I know it really has a big impact on me. At one point, I used to use lights and light therapy to combat the blues, the winter blues, they call it. Some people call it seasonal affectiveness disorder. I don't really suffer deeply with it because I do a lot of things now, having learned about it. I take certain practices on to keep myself elevated and to keep my emotions heightened and to keep elevating my serotonin levels. So this Daily C is about if you are someone who lives in a country where you wake up and you go to work in the dark and then you come home in the dark, even if you're an entrepreneur, but your hours are, you're not getting enough light, you're not getting enough sun. I'd love for you to consider taking on some practices to help you break open and not have to worry about that winter blues and the winter blahs and hibernating. Every day, make every day count and every day your masterpiece. So how do you do that when you're kind of feeling lethargic and all you want to do is get home, put on your pajamas and read a book, crawl into the covers, light the fireplace, whatever your thing is. For me, it's read a book, light the fireplace, and don't talk to me. So here's some of the things that I do. I get up before my alarm clock. So I set my alarm for 5:30 every day. And my biological clock usually wakes me up between 10 after 5 and 5:15. I don't leap out of bed right away. I take a few minutes and I really breathe in gratitude. And I just start my day with gratitude. What am I grateful for specifically? Very specifically. Not, I'm grateful for my kids and I love my kids. Of course I love my kids. And I'm grateful for certain elements. And I'm grateful some days. I'm grateful for being alive and being able to breathe in that air. And I also start to practice, a mantra or a daily meditation. I listen to guided meditations, or I practice my own form of meditation, body scan, a body check-in from your feet all the way to the top of your head. And I usually do that anywhere between 5 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the morning before I do anything else. And that starts my day. So that allows me to kind of rewire my thinking, rewire those molecules, and step into the day with purpose and intention. Because we're always responding to the future you're living into. Every moment, if you are living into a future that looks more like the same old drudgery of yesterday and the day before and the day before, guess what your experience is going to be? The same old drudgery of yesterday and the day before and the day before. So if you're intentionally creating something different, and what's your future today? What new clients will you have? What breakthroughs will you help people with? What purpose will you serve? How will you make a difference and an impact today? And what does that look like? So that's the first part. And then the second part is I drink a large glass of water, sometimes with lemon, sometimes not. And I try to drink 2 of those so that I get 16 ounces of water in before I have my first cup of coffee. And I have my cappuccino. And then I'll either do a stretch or a workout, anywhere, just move your body. Take the dog for a walk. There she is in the background. You're seeing Fergie. So move your body, get outside, even if it's still dark. Because usually by this point, it's maybe 5:45, 6 o'clock. It's still dark out. So I get outside. I try to get outside, or if I'm not getting outside, I listen to comedy. Or I listen to something very mindful, something that's very thoughtful. So in this next several weeks, I really go for laugh therapy. I read a stat yesterday that it says laughing for 10 minutes or 100 repeated laughs is the equivalent, is not 10 minutes, sorry, 100 repeated laughs, which is like 2-3 minutes of laughter, actually is the equivalent of riding on the spin bike, riding on a stationary bike for 15 minutes for your cardio. So laughter, put the comedy on. Get our friend Russell Peters. He's a funny dude. Or, Amy Schumer. I listened to her in her Oprah interview talking about infertility. Who can make infertility funny? Laugh at yourself. Laugh at the stupid shit you do. I do the most ridiculous things. Create laughter. And that really helps me elevate those things. I'm also big on vitamins. I take a big vitamin routine. And I also I do intermittent fasting. So that helps me combat what's coming at me when there's dark days and I don't wanna, and I feel lousy and you can't make me. I also take particular attention to getting up and getting dressed with intention, getting dressed with a purpose. What do I want to look like today? What's the image I want to portray? That's important to me, but pick your clothes out intentionally so that you feel better. You have a level of confidence and you're ready to tackle the day and you're just on that platform. So if it's, whatever your practices are, and I'm not imposing mine on you, but create some practices that elevate your serotonin levels, elevate your adrenalines, and even if it's running on the spot for 1 minute or jumping up and down for 1 minute, get your heart rate up, get moving, do things that are uncomfortable and enjoy it. One of the things about having the winter blues is find people to hug you. Hug more people in your life. Ask your kids for hugs. Ask your husband for an extra hug. Ask your wife, say, I'm feeling blue, I really need to be held. Make requests of people. And then really just enjoy the time before the spring weather hits and you're ready to get up and the days are longer and you'll notice you're more motivated. But lean into it. Don't just accidentally wait for the winter to pass because it is only January 28th and we've got, at least in Toronto or in Canada, 6, probably 8 more weeks to go. The dark days will start to subside somewhere in March, but it's still really challenging. So I challenge you to take on the winter blues. That's your daily dose of Coach C. Hopefully you got a little bit of inspiration out of that and you can relate to the winter blues. And if you like this daily C, please subscribe to us on YouTube or like us, comment, share. Love to hear your feedback.